It's too quiet up in here.
I'm talking to my cat. Do you want me to keep on saying hi, hello, hello, hello into the mic? Because that's what's going to happen.
Yes, this cat of yours. Does it have feathers and likes to eat seed?
Maybe. Hi. Yes, Gypsy. Good girl.
Whew. Man, I'm ready to play. I had delicious dinner and I got a cold shattering in my hand.
I'm basically on the fence, but yeah.
Oh, lordy, Gypsy.
That is what's going to be happening if I don't mute my mic.
Rat.
Hi, Gypsy.
I hate to say it, but you might have to run there and give it to your sister for a little while.
Hell no.
Well,
even though I would love a vacation, no. Also, she's coming back at the end of next week.
I love Gypsy, but we're about to have a lot of dialogue, so.
So I'll be trying my best to keep my mic muted the whole game, because that's going to be happening.
No, we need you to roleplay.
Hey, you guys. My name is not Mulik. I
Right.
lied to you guys. My name is Michael Knight, just to let you know.
What?
My name is Michael Knight. It's not Mulik.
I don't get the reference.
All right, everybody. How are we doing tonight? Hello, Gypsy. We hear you. Yeah. Ivy, you're going to have to mute your mic.
Yeah, I know.
Except when you're... Go ahead and mute it now, please. Thank you.
Wow.
Hey, I can mute all of you if I need to.
It's contagious. Help us.
It's 4 hours of nothing
muting.
but that this week. We're just going to put this out because it'll get higher ratings.
Well, hello, welcome everybody. My name is DM Galabond. I am joined by this bunch of misfits tonight. I see on the Discord, we have Chris, Ivy, James, Ken, Michael, and Vernon. All here, all ready to play. We hope that Wesley will be able to come back and join us soon. We know he is out on the front lines of this COVID, fighting it in the healthcare system, and we thank him for everything that he is doing there, but we miss him from being in the game. And to recap where we were last time on this here show, the party had gotten themselves captured. Actually, what happened is Osprey got knocked unconscious in a fight, and that was in the Dragon Cave where they were looking for the eggs. And when the leaders of the evil cult came to his corpse, came to his body, one of the leaders put the blade of her halberd on his neck and demanded that the rest of the party drop their weapons or she would execute him in front of their eyes. And after a little bit of a tense standoff, the party eventually decided, well, let's see what happens if we let our companion live. And the first thing that they found out is that this Frulum, the female leader of the cult that held the power of Osprey's life in her hands, she's something of a flirt. She tends to like the high charisma guys. So she, in some ways, it seems like maybe she was glad she didn't have to kill Osprey. And she was also flirting with Fallager. Then we have a number of other people that were very badly hurt, and they were all taken into a communal area and thrown in that cell, except for Fallager, who was taken by this Frulum over to be interrogated in a way that, was a little uncomfortable for Fallager, partly because he's usually the one that is dangling the girl on a string, and instead he was in a position where he realized that maybe saying the wrong thing might not be good for his long-term health. And so he's having to try to negotiate. He had to try to negotiate his way around that. he did find very quickly that Frulum was mostly a tease, and after sort of teasing him a bit and not really doing anything more than giving some vague promises or vague half promises, she sent him back to the cell under guard. And when he got back there, he discovered that everybody else had kind of suffered poorly in his absence. So, everyone except for Fallager, I would like you to roll a 1d8 for me, and the 1d8 will represent your current hit points. After the people that captured you got done beating the snot out of you while Fallager was in the under the attentions of Frulum. And Fallager, when you see this, Frulum kind of walks along behind you as you're being escorted back. And when you see this, you turn back to her, and she's just looking at the bloody, the bloody bodies of your comrades, and she gives this really excited smile, like that may be the most arousing thing that she's seen all day, is them all bloodied like that. Thus ends Fallager's first encounter with Frulum. And some time passes, and you all are given broth, and it's clear when you start eating this broth that yes, it will keep you alive, but also it's got to have something in it because it's very hard for you to stay awake. And the broth is the only thing you are offered other than water. And they're giving you enough to keep you alive. But you pass the first night, and you're not really allowed to get a full rest. So your hit points do not reset. You don't even gain the advantage of a short rest, so you cannot roll hit dice. And any spell slots or other things that you have expended that normally come back after a long rest do not come back because you have not had a long rest. It's clear that these people are wise to the ways of adventurers, and that they intend to make your stay here in this particular prison cell something that you are not soon going to forget, and something that is going to be both painful and memorable for a lot of the wrong reasons. Okay, so you will have the opportunity to talk to each other for a moment before the next person is called away. So I will give you 5 minutes on the clock. Go ahead. What do you all want to say to each other?
That could have been worse. But Mulek, I swear to God, I'm going to put a knife in that woman's throat.
Don't call me Mulek. I've got history with this lady. I do not want her to know who I am. I'm
Oh.
Call me Michael Knight. I don't want her to know who I am. And I'm whispering this to everyone. I don't want her to know who I am.
Okay, Mike.
Fallinger, what
This is
happened
gonna
to
be
you?
confusing now.
Dun, 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 dun.
A bonanza for no reason there in the middle of it. And Kenneth is still going on about this same thing. Oh, wait a minute. No, it's still the same thing.
Can Fallinger not talk?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
I just
with something else right now from the looks of.
I honestly, I expected a whole different thing of roleplay from my end, so I'm sorry, got off guard.
All good. Okay, Mike, if that's what you want to be called.
Yeah.
Tell us your history with this woman before I decide just to get up and put a knife in her throat.
Yeah, she hurt me once before. Let's just leave it at that. And I don't want her to. I've been out looking for her, and I want to take her down. If it's by my hand or someone else's hand, it doesn't really matter. I just don't want her to know my true name.
Wait a minute.
I don't know if she knows my name. She knows I exist. She knows I'm out somewhere. I can't let her know who I am.
Fair. Is Fallinger in the cell with us?
Yes, he is back now.
Mike, did she break your heart? Is Fallinger moving in on your territory? Is that what happened? We're all friends here. Come on now. Be honest.
Oh, wait, you asking me if she broke my heart?
Yeah.
No. Not even close. No.
Okay. Well, Fallinger, I think she's fair game for you, buddy. Have fun.
Well, I was with her for quite a while. I didn't learn anything, so there's that.
I have a question for the DM.
Sure.
Are there guards outside watching us? Is there what is the room like that we're in?
Yes. Okay. The room that you are in is a let me go find the description of this room. It is this one here. Okay. This room is approximately. Now, of course, I have the RP slate up, so I have to go look at the map myself. This room is about 35 feet wide by 40 feet long. It is completely carved out of barren stone. The only way out is the little doorway at the far east, and that has had an iron set of iron, or an iron gate set into the wall. It looks like this either has been intended to be a holding cell for prisoners or possibly a place where valuables would be stored. But of course, now you guys are the only people that are in here. There is one bucket that is in here that appears to be for the purpose of your night soil. There is a like a tiny hole in the floor over in the northwest corner that where if you put liquid down there, it will just drain into that hole. So perhaps that's a convenient place for number one. And you are not chained up, but of course all your equipment has been taken away from you. All your armor is gone. Faldor, you did manage to sneak a boot in, or sneak a dagger in your boot. So you have that, but the rest of you, all of your weapons are gone. All of your items are gone. Your backpack, any pouches, any materials, anything like that is all gone. All you have is literally the clothes on your back. And those are in pretty bad condition because, there were a lot of times where kobolds kind of would pat down parts of, and if they felt like there was something there, they would just take a dagger and rip a hole in your shirt or your trousers or something, trying to see if you had anything hidden in there. They've even taken all of the gold out of your pocket, so you don't have a copper piece to your name at this point. Where all that stuff is, you don't really know. That's all been taken away. And guarding you, there are several human guards, and there's always a minimum of 4 guards, and among those guards is always at least one berserker, who's kind of like a lieutenant, seems to be part of the bodyguard for the half-dragon person. And there are several different ranking cultists that you hear them referred to by a title of Dragonwing. Several of them come from time to time, and the broth that you are being fed is brought to you by kobolds. And actually the broth, while it's kind of tasteless, you can tell it's made with some kind of meat, but it's actually, whatever kind of meat it is actually probably kind of fresh. It's not rancid or anything. So that's probably actually the most pleasant part about being in here, is the fact that they actually feed you. It's clearly it's sustenance, nourishment. You're not gonna stay healthy for very long on this if you can't get out, but it's gonna mean that you're not gonna starve to death. You might be a little bit thinner if you're here for a while, but you won't die of starvation, at least.
Does Mulek have still have his hooded cloak, the modified object that he got from the Benedon?
Oh, no. Anything that is
Okay.
even a common magic item, that's all gone.
All right.
All of that, anything that looked like it was fancy, anything that looked like it was probably worth 5 gold pieces or more, has all been taken away.
Even my precious rock? Rude.
Well, if you had like a rock or a frog? Belle,
Rock,
did
my
you say?
cleansing stone.
Oh, your cleansing stone. Okay, yeah. It's a common magic item. Yeah, it was taken away too.
What if
My rock?
what if I prisoned my pearl of power? Could I technically still have it?
Oh my God, he went there.
Gross.
Well,
You'd be glowing
okay,
like a magical object.
I'm gonna say that you didn't mention that you were doing that last week, so I'm gonna say no, you didn't have a chance to do that.
I didn't have a chance to mention it.
Well, you guys knew you were being captured, so that would have been the time to say anything.
All right.
No, it's gone.
Why is it only the rogue thinks of pocketing things, and I don't mean up the poop chute?
All right. Yeah, and I guess you're kind of lucky, Faldor, that even though your boots may be well made, they look like they are travel worn and probably on their last legs. No pun intended. So they didn't even bother to look twice. It's just like, oh, you got old boots, nobody's interested in those.
So I whisper to the party, it's like, just to let y'all guys know, I do have a dagger.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna need, if you're gonna whisper that, I'm gonna need you to make a stealth check to do so, because you are in a stone room and you do have guys right outside the door. So, just make a stealth check and be sure that you can beat their passive perception.
+8.
23.
23.
Pretty good.
Okay. All right. There it comes. All right. Yes. Yeah. They don't even seem to be paying any attention. So, you feel like that is all well and good. Okay. After a while, Ace. Osprey. Okay. Osprey. Somebody comes to get you. Langdedrosa, the half dragon, along with 2 of these dragon claws. He comes to get you, and they stand at the entrance to the prison cell here, and he says, "You," and he oh, whoops, I'm sorry, that's not the one I meant to do.
That's where it all went wrong.
Yeah, he says, "You," and he points at Osprey. "I want to talk to you." And his 2 bodyguards push into the room, and they say, "All right, come over here. The rest of you stay back." And they motion for you to come forward.
Yeah, Osprey hasn't said a word since he bowed in the text thing.
Yeah.
And he is not really making eye contact until it is a cloudy eye contact that looks over in their direction.
Okay. Whoops, no. All right. Thank you, Mike. All right. So they will take you kind of roughly, and they will pull you over here. And you walk into this room, and in this room you see 2 tables that are covered in like grease and blood. Some of it dried, some of it not so dry. And they have restraints on those tables. And they take you and they throw you roughly on one of those tables, and they lash you down to it. And you see that the other table in the room is actually set up as a rack where they can stretch you. And the dragon, the half dragon, comes in and says, "All right, you. What were you in here looking for?"
Okay, Galabond, when you saying about changing the rooms around something, a point like this,
Mm-hmm.
but not yet. Okay. We look for eggs.
Eggs. Eggs. You look for eggs. You should go to a farm. You need to come up with a better lie than that. I know you were here seeking treasure. The woman, she will not let me put you on the rack. And he points to the other table. Yet. But you give me one excuse, and I don't care if she's aware of the purple or if she has the favor of Severin himself. I answer only to my lady Tiamat, and I will decide what happens to you. Now tell me true. You were here for the treasure, were you not?
There are many answers. Objective was about the eggs. Treasure, I don't know. Why I am here is because the Eye of Tyr is watching you.
He growls at you. He says, Tyr is a weak, pathetic ant that will be crushed by my lady Tiamat. I have no idea why, but that woman sees something in you, and you have the choice. You will join with us and serve Our Lady, and maybe you will raise the blade that strikes down the ant Tyr, where he squirms, begging at the feet of Tiamat, or continue to oppose us, and I swear no matter what that woman says, I will make your death painful and slow, puny mortal. And then he takes a look at the two guards that are with him, and he says, "Make sure it doesn't leave too many marks." And they pull out some leather wrapped batons that are kind of like blackjacks or whatnot, and they just start pounding you on your thighs and on your shins and on your knees. They are not doing any permanent damage, but man, it's painful. And you test yourself against a restraint, and you are restrained. You're restrained very well. They have done a good job of tying you down in here. And then momentarily, the woman, Faerun, she comes in from the east, and she says, "Stop this instant! Quit beating him! Langdetrosta, make your goons stand down! Get out of here! I want to have a word with him, alone." And he raises a hand, and the two stop. And he turns, and you can see that she's wearing regalia where she's got purple robes on, and they have all the symbols of the cult of the dragon on it. And she's got a really high collar, and that collar kind of has the way the fabric is cut. It's kind of stiff, standing up behind her head, and it has what looks like spikes that might be the kind of horns that you see on a dragon's head coming off of it. And the half dragon puts a hand across his chest, and he bows stiffly, and he says, "With your permission, I will leave the guards here to make sure you are safe." And she looks at him for a long moment, kind of purses her lips, and then she nods. And he turns back to the guards, and he says, "If he moves, make him pay." And then he gives you a cold stare and a sneer, and he turns and he walks out of the room. And then she steps up to the table, and she says, "Oh, you poor dear. You poor, wonderful, lovely man. I think he's jealous."
I prefer to be here. Because when I am here, they are not.
Ah, you speak of your friends.
I have maybe one friend. Others are recent traveling companions. Cool guy, but new. We are not loyal to one another so much as for them to make deal with you like they did.
Ah, so you are mercenaries at heart.
Some. I
And
cannot tell the hearts of others.
And she nods, and she smiles, and she kind of adjusts herself in a way that has the cleavage of her dress fall down a little lower so that you can see more of the globes of flesh exposed there. And she's not showing you everything, but clearly she's preening a bit for you. And she smiles at you, and she lays a hand, just her fingertips, on your upper arm, and she says, "Well, if you all wish to be on the winning side, you can have a much more pleasant stay with us." And she gives you a little smile. She says, she says, "Would you think about working for a more equitable payday than you are receiving now? And she tilts her head a little bit.
You attractive woman. But
That makes her smile.
I am very hurt and have something. I have other deal for you.
Oh. You wish to offer a counterproposal. I'm
Yes.
intrigued. From where I stand, you don't have much leverage.
You don't know whole truth. Tiamat values me more highly than you would think. But if you want great blessings for Tiamat and fun times, you must listen to me and Tiamat must listen to you.
And she smiles and she kind of closes her eyes a little bit and shakes her head. And now this is the smile clearly of listening to a child who has no idea of the reality of the world and is talking about some fantasy. And she says, "No, I'm afraid it doesn't work that way. I do not get to bend my lady's ear. I am but a pawn in her service. You can be in my service. I can make that service very pleasant. And when my lady comes into her own, she will shower those loyal to her with wealth beyond your imagination. And I will shower those I favor with wealth and more." And she touches her lips with two of her fingertips, and then she touches your cheek with those fingertips. And she turns around and she walks away. And after she leaves, the guards unstrap you from the table and take you back to the room. She's gone. And so then the three of you all go back here. Whoops. They throw you in. And you're back with the rest of your companions. And now let me see. What do I need? I need this. Okay, 6. Oh, yeah. Okay. Take a couple of minutes to talk to each other with Osprey back.
Osprey, what's up? You're looking kind of beat up there.
I wipe out many times. Woman cannot reach Tiamat. Therefore, I cannot help you. You should have let me die. I have to explain something for you. Osprey makes wings appear out of his back. Reason I come with caravan is because Almighty Tyr called for me. This means I have been using Job as guard to get here. My place now is to die in
Okay.
dishonor.
Osprey, these wings, what are the form of these wings?
Oh, hold on. Let me get the I'll find the shape. These are the white wings. White wing
Okay,
style.
are they kind of spectral or are they like, do they look like big, huge wings that are like really obvious from all the way across the room?
Well, these are theoretically they are the level 3 ASMR ones.
Similar wings. Okay, so let's
Which means
go.
that, but he's going to get he's supposed to get the divine ones on level 14 later, so I sort of conflate that in my mind.
Okay, so let me just...
Because that would be 2 different sets of wings. It would be weird.
Right, so let's just figure out at... Radiant soul, your eyes to glimmer, and 2 luminous incorporeal wings to sprout from your back. Okay, all right.
Maybe they are like outlines that follow this, or some undeveloped form.
Yeah. Okay. Would you... Now, from your speech, I would make a guess, but you have to tell me what Osprey's really thinking. Would you be doing this, trying to do this to kind of show the party and trying to be sure that you are not letting your captor see, or is Osprey feeling kind of like he has a little bit of a death wish and he wants to be found out by these evil cultists?
Actually, third option.
Okay.
It is that he wants to be found out by the cultists, but it is because he is a particular SMR, and he's trying to get something stirred. So he's like, okay, the preferred consequences are, one, that he gets a message through to Tiamat as a way of negotiating. But Tiamat would have to get it and would have to understand it in order for that. So if the theory is that if Tiamat understood who he was, he would be able to make it. He would be able to make a bargain. But actually, it's if the woman would understand who he was and be able to make the bargain to even get to Tiamat. So it's iffy there. The second thing is death before dishonor. So that's coming in third place. And the thing that he's not going to consider is switching sides.
Okay. All right. Well, the rest of you, when these luminous wings sprout from Osprey, the rest of you see one of the guards be sent off rapidly, and very shortly thereafter, you see several more guards show up. You see a couple of more of these folks that are dragon claws. They show up, and the half dragon shows up, and he says, he stands at the door and he looks in to the room. So this guy will get out of the way so his boss can stand in the door. And he looks in and he points at Osprey and he says, "That's it. Now you're a dead man. Not even she can save you from me." And he sneers and he chuckles.
Tiamat will not be pleased with you if she learns who I am.
Okay. Mulek, give me a perception check. $15. That's good enough. Mulek, you see something that you apparently registered before, but you didn't know what was about to happen until it happened. But now you register it again. You register that this half dragon kind of inhales in the same way he did just before he unleashed his last lightning bolt. Do you want to stand where you are? Okay, all right. That's kind of what I figured. So he is getting ready to just blast you, and one of his lieutenants says, my lord, she will strike you down. She'll have you demoted. No, he's not worth it. Prove it to her. Wait until she can see. Then she will order his death, and you will have the satisfaction of killing him yourself. My lord, please. You've come so far. You've risen so high in the ranks. And he kind of jerks his elbow away and he spins around and he just glares daggers at this guy. But after a moment, he kind of composes himself and he says, "You're right, of course, Dragonclaw. He isn't worth it until she can be made to see that he's nothing. Come." And then he walks away without dealing what would, almost certainly be a fatal lightning bolt at Osprey. And it's not many minutes before after he has left that two more of these dragon claws come in. This time, the half dragon isn't with them, and they tell all of you to go to the back of the cell, and they point at. They see Mulek trying to move out of the way, and they say, "No, you." And they motion you to come forward. And they kind of glare at you, Osprey, and one of them raises a crossbow and says, "I said, get to the back of the cell."
Huh.
Okay.
But we're getting her.
All right. And so, Mulek, these two will come and they will take you over here, and they will put you on this table where they will lash you down to it, and you can tell, yes, this is the one that has all of the implements to be an actual rack. And they put you on the table, they lash you down, and then they give the rack just like a little bit of a tug, just to kind of make you a little bit tighter stretched out than you are. It's not painful yet, but you can tell they are not going to have to do much more before you're going to be in some real pain. And in that moment, the woman comes in. And she is wearing purple robes. And she has a chainmail on. And she is wearing at her hip, she is wearing a flail. And in her hand, she has a short whip. And she steps up to the table, and she will begin your questioning. And she says, you are a caster. You know the arcane arts, or do you follow some lesser god than my lady Tiamat?
I am but an apprentice. I haven't been studying magic for very long. I pick it up here and there.
Ah, an apprentice. How quaint. Well, do you think that you have any tricks that might be useful to my lady?
Possibly. What kind of tricks are you looking for?
First, I need to know that you can be trusted. What were you seeking when you came here? Don't lie, or I will make this very painful. She puts a hand on the crank that stretches the rack, and she puts a little bit of pressure on it, and you can feel that pressure going through your muscles when she does.
They told me they were eggs, dragon eggs, and we were coming to get them.
You believe that we would be dumb enough to have the eggs of dragons in caverns that are tended by kobolds? You are lying to me. And she leans into the crank, and it just pulls, and you can feel like your shoulder's about to get pulled out of its socket. Not quite there, but oh gosh, that's painful. And in that moment, while she is waiting for your response, Mulek, you get a sending. The voice is one that you recognize as someone that you met briefly when you were in Greenest. He is Idaean Falconmoon, the priest at the Temple of Shantae. And the sending says, "Hey, are you guys okay? We haven't heard back from you, and Governor Nighthill is getting worried. You can reply to this message." That's an inside joke for those of you on the stream. And so, Mulek, you know from having studied about the spell message that you can mentally reply. You don't have to reply out loud. You can mentally reply to the message with up to 25 words. Did we lose James?
Sorry, I was on mute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I respond. Captured, large forces, evil leaders, need help now.
Okay. All right. And after you mentally reply, oh, that shoulder pops. And now you're brought immediately back to the present. And the woman says, "Stop lying to me. I know you were here hoping to steal treasure from the cult. Were you not?"
No, we were here. We were told there were dragon eggs, and if there was other treasure, yeah, sure. We didn't know you were here. We thought this place was empty. We thought you were here to steal whatever was here. That is why we fought, because we thought you were here to steal the same stuff we were here to try and take.
I'm not sure I believe you. I'm going to let you think about this. And she locks the rack in its current position, and she uncoils the whip that she has. It's short, like I said. It's about 4 feet long, and these two guys, they kind of back out of the way. And then she proceeds to lash you with the whip. And the first time she does, it kind of makes you, you cringe a little bit, but she just lets it fall onto you. And you can tell as she drags the whip across that in addition to having little leather knots, in those leather knots, there's actually like little shards of metal that are cut to very, very sharp blades and points. And so then the second time she lashes you, it's a little bit harder, and it kind of stings, but it doesn't really hurt. And then she lashes you really good right in your midsection, and it's in a place that just kind of reflexively, it makes you jerk a little bit, and when you do, it just really pulls at how you're being held in the rack, and everything just screams with agony. Your shoulders scream.
I'm telling you the truth. We were here for dragon eggs. Please.
Then you are truly pathetic. I don't know if all of you will be allowed to serve my lady or not. And she then continues whipping you until you pass out. And sometime later, by the way, you've taken no actual physical damage, but you took enough subdual damage to knock you out. You do have a lot of superficial cuts, but they're not anything that really does hit point damage to you. Sometime later, you wake back up in a heap. You're just thrown against the wall in the cell. And nope, she's not there. The guards are, of course, there. And this guy, he's kind of gone over here for the time being. And there's more guards out here. Okay, so now once again, Mulek, you wake up, and you have a few minutes to talk amongst each other.
What happened, Mike?
This isn't looking good, guys. They think we're here for some treasure. And if I almost think she wants us to say that we are seeking for treasure, because she may not let us live if we continue to tell her the truth.
You talked to the right person then. Maybe I can convince her that we came here for treasure.
I think we need a game plan and let them think that we were here for treasure, to possibly prove our worth, to join their cult. I don't know.
I'll look over at Osprey and explain, Osprey, we're not, or I actually walk to him and whisper in his ear. It's like, buddy, we're not really joining this cult. My plan that I can go over with Mike over there is to take these people down from the inside. Get close, learn everything about them, take them down. I know deceit's hard for you, but this might be the only way we can survive and the only way that we can do what we need to do. And maybe then we can find the location of what we're looking for.
May fortune favor you.
We just need to buy time, guys.
Osprey, don't do what I think you're going to do.
I have other plan.
That's fair, but we need you just as much as you need us.
Did you guys receive a sending message?
What? No.
The priest of Shantae reached out to me. I let him know that we'd been captured and are in trouble, and that we need help now. I think if we can buy some time, maybe they can set a diversion and we can get out of this crap hole.
What do you think about that, Osprey? Brock?
Thought monks would be here.
Can anybody get them a message?
Message, I believe, or sending, I believe, is a 3rd level spell. Message is 1st level, but you need to be close for that. Sending is 3rd level. I don't think any of you guys have 3rd level spells yet, and you're not able to recover spells.
I have idea. Idea is all ideas. Only I will not go in next. Next time will be someone else.
Enlighten me, Osprey. What? Alliterate. Explain to me what you're talking about, someone else.
I think they will take someone else next.
Oh, well, that's a
They
gimme.
Want doesn't make sense. They say you join Tiamat. Then they beat you and ask about treasure. We don't know. That is maybe way Tiamat does things. But they're going to do this for everybody. They so desperate about treasure. Is treasure gone? Must be gone. Otherwise, they not be so desperate.
All right, and just about on cue there. Lang Dedrosa returns, the half dragon, and he is now dressed in finery. He looks like he's wearing armor, and you've seen him wear armor before, but this looks almost like dress armor, like you would wear for some type of official function or something. And two of his Dragonclaw bodyguards are there, and they also have robes on that are or capes, I should say, that are very formal looking. And he stands at the door, and he's got a dragon's face, so it doesn't emote in the same way that humanoid faces do, but you can tell that he's much more relaxed than he has been the last couple of times he's been here. And his bearing would indicate that he's almost, like in a good mood. And he says, not gruffly this time, but he says to his two bodyguards, he points to Brock, and he says, "Bring him. I wish to have a conversation with him." And the two will move up, and they will look at you, and they'll kind of nod their heads to you, and they'll say, "Sir, if you will come with us, please."
God, I want to be an asshole so bad here, but no. Brock gets up and tries to anyway, and walks forward.
Yeah. You're not able to recover any hit points, but you're not losing hit points right now, so things are fine. So they will. Whoops! I grabbed the wrong guy here. Well, I can just take the little thing off of him. Okay. So they will take you over here, and whoops, he will come over here with you. Oh, dadgummit.
Way over there.
All right. Somehow I grabbed the wrong thing there. All right. So now I need to reveal this area here. Oh, come on. Reveal. Yeah, there we go. And then reveal this and reveal this, because Brock would see this as he walks in. So we're going to shift the view a little bit. Brock, you go walking through this area. You pass by a number of kobolds and whatnot, and you get led over into this sumptuously appointed room. Clearly, this is a space that is set aside for somebody that is very important. There's a large bed there. There's fine furnishings. There's a couple of armoires there. And Langdedrosa seems right at home. There are 2 large overstuffed chairs sitting there, and in between them is a small table with a decanter of what looks like a very fine liquor and a bowl of some nuts that are there. And he goes to one of the chairs and he points to the other and he bids you to sit down.
I do.
Okay, so I'll go over and sit like here, and then the table's like right in between you guys. And he will say to you, he will say, I've been watching you. I can tell from the way you carry yourself. You're not like those peasant scum. You were born with noble blood, were you not?
I finger the coat of arms on my shoulder and nod.
Yes. And so I wonder, what would cause a man used to a life of luxury and used to command and having an entire kingdom, or perhaps a county, or perhaps a duchy at your fingertips, what would cause a man such as you to take up with scum like these peasants? Where are my manners? Would you like some whiskey? It's a very fine vintage.
I don't drink. Thank you.
Well, then there's more for me. And he pours himself just a little, like a shot's worth, and he swirls it around in his glass, and he kind of sniffs it, and then he takes just a little sip of it. Delicious. Please help yourself to some nuts if you're hungry. He says, my name is Langdedrosa Cyanrath. I come from the noble Cyanrath family myself, and I have the honor to be a lieutenant to one of the wearers of the purple, the highest rank below the worm speakers of our cult. Frulum, she's a bit of a fool, but one day she will make her mistake, and I will be there, and then I will be wearing purple, and I will be just a step from the worm speakers themselves. That means any of my friends will also hold high places in my Lady Tiamat's army.
I'm listening.
So once again, tell me your story, or if you're unwilling, let me guess. The only reason a man like you or me would be caught away from his kingdom in the company of peasants is if something drove you away. some enemy. Can you imagine what you could do to your enemies with the favor of my lady Tiamat at your back? Can you imagine the looks on their faces when you bring her wrath down upon them? And he pulls back his lips, revealing his really sharp draconic teeth in what's clearly a wicked smile.
Can you imagine the magnitude of such wrath when your Lady Tiamat finds out that my enemy is a traitor amongst her? You're familiar with my brother. He spits on the ground. Henry Blackburn, yes.
And he narrows his eyes and he averts his gaze. He says, Blackburn, I have heard the name, yes. Yes. Blackburn is your brother, and he betrayed you?
Yes. And he killed our father for your Lady Tiamat. Drove me out of my home. However, he drove me out to steal the treasure here because he seeks to gain rank amongst your cult.
Ah. He is one of them. He seeks to keep his treasure and earn Lady Tiamat's favor at the same time. I see. He takes another sip of his whiskey and he holds the glass almost delicately in his hands. And he says, and he leans back in his chair. And he says, yes, I know the type. He's too clever for his own good. Am I right?
He likes to think so.
Yes, you see, my lady Tiamat, she does not brook withholding treasure back from her. If you were to steal a single copper from her coffers of her least temple, anywhere in the face of Faerun, she would have assassins hunt you down and make you pay with your life. You do not seek to keep your treasure and gain more if you claim to serve my lady. You give it all to her and you pray that you find favor in her eyes. That is why I have entered into this with my eyes open. My family has served Tiamat for generations. The wealth we have garnered is in her service, but we know that it is all hers in the end, and we would not dare to keep anything from her that she demanded of us.
Seems like we both have someone in our way. We can each help each other. No?
Yes. Now tell me about your companions. Are they strong fighting folk? Are they good in a fight?
Strong as the men I serve besides, yes.
Do you think you could sway them to our banner? Frulam would be heartbroken if we had to slay all of you. I think she fancies 2 of your friends. I'm afraid one has already shown his true colors, and nothing he can say will save him from Frulam's wrath once she realizes who and what he really is. But the other, she might still enjoy him as a toy for a time.
I, for one, I don't know these people very well. I'm just a mercenary sent by my brother. However, some of them are attached. I don't think they'll take kindly to anyone being left behind or killed.
Well, you are clearly a leader of men. If they won't follow you, others will. Of that I'm sure. When the time comes, be sure you choose the right side, and we will have many glorious battles together, my friend.
I agree. However, if there's any way you can spare their lives, I'm sure I could sway them afterwards. And then I would be indebted to you. And I'd give him a wink.
As a man with noble blood, I know you understand the meaning of debt. I will think on this. The one with the wings. I don't know that I could afford to spare him. For if it ever got out that I spared him, my life might be forfeit.
Or you could be the famous one that turned an Asimar to your bidding. What do you think would happen to an angel stuck in hell? Do you think hell would change around the angel, or do you think the angel would change to fit in around hell?
Oh, my friend. I have heard stories. A quick story before I let you go back to your companions. Do you know of creatures known as nightmares?
Galabon, do I?
Make an intelligence check. See if you've ever heard anything about those. Ooh. Something tickles at the edge of your mind, but you can't quite come up with it. He can see you're struggling, so he says, "They are the steeds from the lowest plains of hell, coal black, with fiery hooves and manes of flame. They fly on invisible wings. Do you know, my friend, how a nightmare is created?"
Couldn't begin to imagine.
They go to Celestia and they capture a Pegasus. And they take that Pegasus into the pits of hell and they torture it for 1,000 years, plucking every feather from its majestic wings before slicing them off with glowing hot axes. And when they are done, the Pegasus is a nightmare and knows it serves the very beasts, the very demons, the very devils that captured it. Think of the glory of those that will break the Asimar and what he will become when they are finished with him.
I try my best at an evil laugh.
I tried my best and evil laugh.
Okay. And with that, he takes you back. And clearly, the guards that come with you, they are clearly like, they're now as much an honor guard for you as they are for him. And okay, where did I put? Oh, did I do something with your? Where's Brock?
I saw it fly a little bit farther to the south.
You just said
west.
Brock a minute ago.
Yeah, I just had Brock a minute ago. Well,
You gotta be
shoot,
up
I
there
don't
somewhere. No, he's
Yeah,
not.
okay. I'm just gonna pull Brock back out of the journal and put him on the page again. All right. So yes, you are there. All of these guys, all these guards are here, and you all have a few minutes to talk once again after Langdedrosa goes away.
You guys should just cooperate. I think might have bought us some time. Just fess up to, air quotes, stealing their treasure.
So that worked.
I think so.
Yeah, I think if we just play along, buy us some time, we can get ourselves out of this mess.
Unfortunately, I think our winged friend over there is going to have a hard time either way.
Do you think it is a hard time?
I think that if you are humble in the times to come, Osprey, you might live longer than you would otherwise. We'll have our time to fight afterwards, trust me. I plan on it. Just let's make it there, yeah?
To die is not that big a deal.
Think of the long game and how much good you and all of us can do once we get out of here.
All right. After a few moments, or a few minutes, I should say, they come, and this time it's the woman and Furlam, and she comes and she wants to speak with Fallager. And no, I'm sorry, she wants to speak with
Is Thaldor back, or is
Thaldor.
or is he still gone? He said he would be right back. I don't know if he's back yet or not.
Oh, okay. Well, then in that case, she will speak with Belle. And Belle.
Oh, I have to get the word. Damn it.
Belle, these people come over, and they take you over to the room with the two tables where two of your companions have had the misfortune to be, and they strap you in very tightly, and the woman just sort of stands there for a time looking at you and smiling with something
Hi,
of
Mrs. Lady.
and she smiles with a knowing smile on her face, and she ignores your she ignores your attempts at conversation. And after a time, you hear a commotion outside. And it's the sound of a lot of creatures coming in this direction. And what enters the room is a large number of kobolds. And these kobolds all have they have their claws, they have little curved daggers, and
Fight back.
and Frulum says to you, now we can begin. Tell me, lady, and she uses a lot of sarcasm with that word. Tell me, lady, why are you here? And speak the truth. What brought you and your companions here?
Well, do you want to start from the beginning or like the actual reason why we're like here?
And she clucks her tongue in frustration, and she turns her head to the pack of kobolds, and she nods. And they all race over, and they just start punching Belle on the table, and they claw at her fur, and they gnash their teeth at her, and you get beat up pretty badly. Just like with Mulek, you're suffering subdual damage. You're not taking any hit points worth of damage, but it's a very painful ordeal, and they go on for about a minute, and then Frulum gives a sharp command: "Stop!" And they all look at her, and then they all kind of retreat back to the other side of the room. And you're feeling really achy and beat up and everything now. And she says, I will ask again, why are you here? What brought you and your companions to these caves this day?
Belle was snarled a little bit from the pain, but she said, well, at first we were here for the eggs, and then like those would be a tasty snack and all, but I guess I'm not gonna get that stack. But now I heard that you had shinies. Now I'm kind of interested in the shinies. You know what I mean? Like, shinies? They're real nice. They're nice to have. I wonder if there's any nice possessions in there. And she rambles on about shinies and the shinies that she collected and she had back at home, and yeah.
And Frulum just shakes her head, and she says, she looks at the kobolds, and she says, don't kill her yet. And then she just turns around and she walks out of the room, and the kobolds all come back, and they continue beating up Belle. And eventually Belle will pass out. But sometime before Belle returns to the room, Falager, you get ascending. And the sending comes from this guy that you met briefly, the priest from the Temple of Shantae at Greenest. Idian Falcon Moon. And he says, I've heard you were captured. Can you tell me where you are? Are you at the same camp where you found the dragon cult before? You can reply to this message.
Good call.
Okay, so that's the entrance where we came in, right?
Oops, I'm sorry. I'm not looking at the map. Where were you pinging? Yes.
Okay.
And this is the same camp where you found the monk that was being held prisoner. So
Do I remember how we got here? It's not like we were blindfolded.
no, but presumably, I'm just gonna say presumably when you went back with the monk, either you guys would have told them, or certainly if you didn't, the monk would have told the people at Greenest where their camp was.
I mean, like in the cave. Like,
okay. You guys came through the main entrance. I'll do this. You guys came through the main entrance here. You then decided at the fork to go this way, and you started to fight, and you withdrew, and then they brought you back in here. So yeah, you kind of know how you got here.
I will answer back pretty much. I'm going to try to describe where we're at exactly in the fewest words possible.
Okay.
First word is yes. And then I'll do like, I can only send how many words back?
25.
And then I'll try to give them as many like 2-word steps to get to where we're inside the cave as possible.
Okay. All right. And then Bell will be brought back. And Belle is a bloody mess. She has been beaten. She has more lumps. She's got bits of fur that have been pulled out by the kobold claws. She has had some of her claws clipped off by presumably some of the daggers, like where they clipped off the tips of her claws and kept them maybe as souvenirs or something. You haven't had your claws removed, but they've just been clipped off, kind of like, clipping a fingernail. After you've grown real long nails, cutting them back. And that's sort of where Belle's condition. And now the rest of you can all speak amongst each other if you wish.
Snacks bite back.
Okay. Since dead air is not good, we will just say that you don't have any conversations then.
I see
What?
how he
Uh,
wants to
Who you
talk
talking
to.
to? Who are you talking to?
I was talking to the group. You all
Oh.
are together. You all are together in the.
Oh, I think we missed that. So you're giving us time to talk again?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry.
So Belle, we playing the same game here? Tell her about the treasure.
What game? I just spoke the truth. I
Alright.
told her about like tasty snacks and like for breakfast, you know? And then I told her about the shinies. We knew about the shinies afterwards. But shinies are nice, right? Yeah.
All right,
She liked the shinies too.
all right, at least she kept you alive.
Look at my fur! She'll huff and just curl herself in a ball.
Falazure just shakes his head at her slowly.
Mila goes over and starts petting her calmly to calm her down. Let her know everything's okay.
Belle will calm down after a while.
I think they're coming for us, boys.
What are you talking about?
I was
You were contacted?
Didn't you just hear me talking about some weird directions?
No, you didn't. No, they didn't, because that's all telepathic.
Oh, is it?
With sending, it's telepathic. With message, it's whispered, and only the person you're whispering to can hear it. But with sending, it's all telepathic.
Yeah, I laid out simple instructions, if you will, where to find us, if you will. I wish that damn dragon would come back and talk to me. Maybe I could work an angle.
I wonder how Mr. Dragonface feels. Seeing me all alive and stuff again probably throws him for a loop.
If you're looking for an angle, he's not too fond of Miss Lady there.
It's all really cool, guys.
Okay.
What do you mean he's not too fond of her?
He despises her. He thinks he deserves the position.
I bet I could use that to our advantage.
If you can make him listen.
He doesn't seem like the listening type. I think she's more the angle that needs to be worked.
So you say tell her that he is planning?
I'm saying
fight each other?
Mr. Dragonface is our best chance to get out of here, all of us, to get out of here alive. She wants to only take two of us. I hear someone talking, but I can't quite make it out. Is that Mike?
Yeah, we can't hear you.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Mike. You're.
I think the next time I talk to her, I'll sow a little bit of insurrection in her ear, if you know what I mean.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't want to start it too soon, guys.
I can whisper it in her ear when they're sitting there beating the crap out of me. If she interrogates me.
I got a feeling she'll come for me pretty soon. Besides, like I said, I think the cavalry's coming.
Start discord amongst the ranks while they're sitting there fighting amongst each other, you know.
Well, I think you guys are misunderstanding me. If we were to take her side, she only wants to keep two of us alive. Mr. Dragonface, I think I might have talked him into keeping us all. So maybe not sell him out to her.
I'm more interested in divide and conquering than trying to bootlick somebody into survival.
Exactly. That's why I have to agree with Fallinger on that. That's what I'm trying to say. We get them to fight amongst each other. If the cavalry's coming, they're divided fighting each other. Well, it makes it easier for the rest of them to come in and clean house.
But the timing, we need to time it right.
Yes. Also,
have-
Stoll.
We have no gear. We're sitting ducks right now.
Mulek, have you tried contacting your bird?
Oh, my bird will come as soon as I want him.
If you could find our equipment, I think that's important. We know where it's at.
Yeah, but if these guys see an owl flying around this cavern, I don't think that owl's going to live very long.
Can you
They
turn him?
always come back.
I don't have the components to bring him back.
Oh.
All right. There's a commotion out in the hallway after you guys have talked for a little bit, and they come up, and this time they point at Faldor, and they say, "You come with us."
Like I really had a choice. The smirk on my face.
Okay. All right. So they will take you over here. And when they get you in here, in addition to the fancy guards, okay, they're gonna put you on this table here where the rack is. In addition to the fancy guards, both the half dragon and the woman are in here, and they secure you to the rack, and the woman says, "My friend and I here, we have a bet. I say that you will talk before this rack rips your arms off. He says you will not. I wonder which of us is right. Before we start the festivities, save yourself a lot of pain and tell me truly, why were you here? Why did you all come to these caverns?"
I'm already strung up. I'm already like tight.
Yeah. Yeah, you're tight, uncomfortable, but not tight, painful.
Well, I'm trying not to laugh because this sounds funny. Hear me out. A little bit of shenanigans, DM.
Okay.
Yeah, shenanigans. I want to try to James Bond this just a little bit. And what I mean by that is think of Casino Royale where he's being tortured.
Okay.
Can I get away with that, or do I need a better constitution?
Well,
I mean, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt him, but I'm just saying, like, can I take a little bit of pain instead of a smile
sure.
on my face? Is what I'm saying. Okay.
For at least the first one or two, then we might have you start making rolls to find out whether you can keep up that charade.
10-4. Got you. Sorry. I did need my back popped just a little bit. Can you pull it just a little bit more?
And she sneers at you, and the half dragon chuckles and says, "Oh, by all means, smart man. Of course we can accommodate you." And he goes over and he just jams the gears on the thing back, and it just stretches painfully. but narratively, it's really painful. Mechanically, it's not starting to do damage yet.
Right there. That's the spot. By the way, you asked why we came here? Is that what I'm hearing? We came here because we followed the treasure. We followed the lines and lines of stuff that y'all were bringing in. Why wouldn't we come this way?
I knew it. They've been after the treasure all along. Well, of course they have. What else would you think? These fools. They're horrible liars. Okay, well, Mr. Smart Guy, you've wasted your trip because the treasure is all gone. It's gone now. It has gone. By this time, it must be beyond Nashkel. And then the half dragon, he laughs and he says, "Ha ha ha ha, silly woman. Nashkel, it's not going that direction. It will be towards Elturel by now." And so then the two of them, share a look and they kind of glare at each other. And then they say, "All right, will you at least are honest where your companions are not. Tell me."
I laugh inside my head, like, right.
Yeah, okay, I got that.
Tell me, do you think you would be willing to work for treasure instead of simply stealing it?
Well, we didn't think anybody was here. What was the point of, working if it was just here for the taking? At the same time, I work wherever the money's at.
Oh, well, and the half dragon, he takes over talking now, and he says, "Is it only money you crave, human? Or do you also like the thought of power? My lady will put her loyal followers in dominion over all the other humanoids on the face of Toril. Join with us, and you could enjoy the taste of power in my lady's service."
I could only do that if you spare all my friends' lives.
And he turns and he looks and he says he kind of gives a really meaningful look at the woman, and he says to her, "You say that he speaks truly, yes?" And she says, "Yes, of course he does. You've heard him yourself." And the half dragon looks back at you and says, "Tell me the truth. What of your companion, the one with the wings? What do you know about him?"
We've been traveling together for a little while. Not much. Kind of quiet, goofy. It's about it. I really couldn't tell you anymore. I mean, he's a good guy. Good fighter.
And with that, as you're saying that, you can see her eyes grow wide and she says, "Wait, he really has wings?" And she addresses that to you.
I don't know.
And then she sneers and she says, "Oh, he has earned this now." And she pulls the whip off of her belt and she coils it, and he steps back out of the way, and she just starts to lash, and she lashes hard.
Oh, I had an itch right there. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's great.
Okay. She lashes again, and this time roll me a Constitution save, please.
10-4.
Uh, 14. Okay, barely. Oh, you manage a smile. It comes out kind of half a grimace, but it's still more or less a smile. With that lash, and in between that lash and the next lash, Brock, you get ascending, and ascending is from Edian Falconmoon, the priest from the Temple of Shantae at Greenest. And he says to you, "Be ready, hold fast. We are an hour away or less. Help is coming. Greenest, Baragost, and others ride to the rescue."
I just reply back, acknowledged, make haste.
Okay. And she really doesn't like you taunting her, Thaldor, so she's gonna whip you a couple more times. Make me another Constitution save. This is gonna be a little tougher.
Ooh,
Oh man. Okay.
You're
You
getting
this is
thrashed.
going great.
You are getting thrashed.
You
I'm
passed.
just smirking the whole way, spitting blood out of my mouth, you know?
Yeah, you passed that Constitution save. Okay. You've lost now an actual hit point because she's
So I'm
doing
at
damage
7.
there. Yeah. And then she now just gets this grimace, like this murderous rage on her face, and she just starts whipping you as hard as she can, and you need to make another Constitution save.
I'm still just smirking and laughing. Like, oh, God, yeah, itch. You're getting it now. Yeah, that ain't going to do it.
Okay. Yeah, that's not going to do it at all. And as your laughter turns to shrieks of pain involuntarily, and she cackles as she hears you screech and scream, and she continues lashing you until you pass out.
Before I pass out, I scream. I'm going to tell everybody you itched me good.
Okay. When Thalazur is thrown back into this room by the guards, he is at 1 hit point, and he's unconscious.
Thaldor.
Thaldor, yeah. When Thaldor is thrown back in there, he is at 1 hit point, and he's unconscious. And I think with that, we're going to go ahead and take our break. We'll take... it's a little bit... later than we normally break. Let's take 5 minutes, or no, let's take 9 minutes. So come back at 10 after. Take a bio break, grab something to drink, and we will be back in a few minutes, and we will see what happens when the cavalry arrives. All right, so chat, I'm going to put on some music, and then I will mute myself, and I'm going to go grab a drink.
So she really scratched that itch for me, right? Out of game. See, that was funny.
You're crazy, man.
Yeah, a little bit. Theodore likes a little bit of abuse, apparently.
Giggity.
Right? I wasn't saying he was getting off on it, but it was like, if you look at the backstory, when we did all of our backstories on Theodore, he was beat within an inch of his life, and his uncle, brought him back to health and stuff. So getting beat ain't nothing for him. He's just like, this is fun. Because remember, I have a vendetta for that woman. I'm going to put a knife in her throat. So it's like, it's not like, he's just relishing in it because he's going to put a knife in her. Try to, anyways.
Well, we got the cavalry coming, and we got 3 of us trying to fight over killing that bitch. So we'll see what happens.
Well, it didn't say we couldn't all do it at once. You find your axe, you put it between her eyes. I put one in her neck, and Mulek does what he does.
Best case scenario, sure.
That would be the best case. So it'll all work out. But no, them first 2 con saves were great. It was just hilarious.
I was actually hoping secretly that you'd fail the first one miserably. It would just turn
Right.
into a joke.
I imagine what he did. If I had to imagine as a DM, what he did was the first con save was like a 10. The second one might have been a 15. And the third one was probably like a 20.
That's exactly what I thought, too. That's usually the case.
Yeah. Unless he was going to do 5, 10, 15, 20, But
Although
from
he
what
said
it looks like,
he said your 14 was barely, so maybe you started at 12.
maybe. Or that's just to throw you off.
All right, I'm going to run to the restroom real quick, get a drink.
10-4.
All right, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. How are y'all doing?
We're here.
I am alive.
Okay, good. All right, so what I am going to do is I am going to take a few moments on the journal over here and do some things. And while I'm doing that, I am going to let you all know that within about 30 minutes after Faldor gets back into the prison area there, you hear alarms raised. And it is clear that something is going on, and you hear a bunch of soldiers being orders being shouted, and people are being sent away. And let's see, website. There we go. I'll pull him out. Put him there. And then we will put Casper. Okay, we will take Casper and we will put Casper there. All right. Okay, so now time to pull back from here and go to a map. Hey, guess what kind of a map we have here? We have a skills challenge map. Okay, so it's clear from the commotion after a few minutes that whoever is coming and wherever they are coming from, they have arrived and they are starting to battle against the defenders or the cult members that are still here in the complex. And from the shouts, you can tell that the defenders are having a very tough time of it. And the cries that they send up get more and more desperate. And what is more, the number of guards on the door of this room start to thin out. And when they get down to like 2 or 3 guards, then every time one guard goes away, it's replaced by a kobold. And so now, after a time, there are 3 kobolds standing there at the gate. One of them is wearing a helmet that's a little different than the others. Seems to be some sort of helm of office. Has a wide belt around his belly and has a ring of keys that's far too big for a kobold on that belt. And they're keys that kind of look like they would fit locks, sort of like this cell has on it. So what we are going to do is we are going to have a skills challenge. And you guys need to have 12 successes balanced against 6 failures. And here are the stakes for this skills challenge. Success will mean that one of the cult leaders from this complex will be captured, and at the end of the skills challenge, you will discover that the dragon eggs you are seeking are all intact, which means that you will get an opportunity to decide what happens to them. Furthermore, of the guards that rode, or of the cavalry that rode to free the party, 15 of them will be wounded and none will die. Now, if you fail the skills challenge, it means that both of the cult leaders from this encampment escape, and in the fighting, the dragon eggs will be destroyed before you have a chance to decide what happens to them. And of the guards that rode to free you, 15 are dead and another 20 are wounded. So these are the stakes that we have. And you'll also then have to fight to actually get free. Fight in a weakened condition, as you guys are now. Successful skills challenge, you don't have to fight. You get away and you get to decide what happens. Unsuccessful, the cult leaders escape, and you have to fight your way out without the benefit of a long rest to recover anything. So, go ahead, I think, or let me just double check that I have cleared the board. I've cleared the board, so go ahead, you guys can roll your initiative. And, oops, okay.
Well, we can't select our...
Oh, you can't select the tokens? Oh, gosh. Okay, well, I was hoping that I wouldn't have to do this, so let me go ahead and... Oh, you know what? I know why, because I'm a dummy. I was doing something to set up the map here, and I put your tokens on the map layer instead of the token layer. And I also did that with these tokens that I am going to need in order to... okay, so Brock, since you did that, I'll go ahead. Oh,
I
okay.
rolled the same thing.
Okay, cool. All
That
right.
made it easy.
Yeah, everybody can go ahead and roll your initiatives. Okay.
Fail with the nat 20.
Nice. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I think we still need... Okay, there's Osprey and Falliger. Excellent. Okay, Faldor, your character sheet. You and Falliger, your character sheets apparently aren't set up right. What's your actual dex score, Faldor?
Give me a sec. My dex. $19.
19. And Falliger, what's your actual dex score?
14.
14. Okay. All right. Then I'll go ahead and put it in descending order. Okay, you guys have all played Skills Challenge with me before, I think. So just to refresh you, Belle, you can use any skill that you want this time. Any that you have. And remember that if you want to use a skill and you think that might be a a high skill for Osprey. Whatever skill you use, he's not going to be able to use that one right after you. So that's kind of the only limitation or restriction that you have on what skill you choose.
So we're still in the cell, and there's a kobold with a bunch of keys.
There's a total of only 3 kobolds at the door now, and one of them has a bunch of keys. Yes, and you are in the cell. They are all kind of half distracted. They're more anxious and worried about the sounds of fighting off in the complex than they are about you, because theoretically you are all cooped up and behind a locked barred door. You don't have any weapons. You've been beaten up, so you're not much of a threat as far as they think.
Okay, so my first thought goes to one, grab those keys from that stupid kobold, and then biting its head off whenever I get out. But Belle would probably try and reach and grab the key. I would believe
Okay.
that would be sleight of hand.
Okay. So go ahead and make a... Ooh.
See, that's why I was cursing, because I know I need that nat for later. Oh.
Okay, so does
Should have let the rogue do that.
does
But
Belle
the
have
thing-
does Belle have inspiration?
Yes.
Would you
But
like to
another
use
thing
the...
is that isn't he looking away and preoccupied with the sounds of the combat anyway?
There's a DC that's a fixed DC, and every roll has to be that DC or higher. This is just narrative, so we're not. You're using your skills to help tell the story, but you still have to hit a certain threshold with every roll. So an 8 is not going to cut it. If you want to cash in the inspiration, you can use that 25 as your reroll, and see if that would be a success.
But I'm just asking if I should have got advantage anyway or not. That's all I'm asking.
No.
Fine. Then yeah, 25.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, you don't even need to do a second roll. 25, that's one success. Actually, is that... No, that's not a nat 20. So it's only one success. All right. So Osprey, you can use any skill except for sleight of hand. What would you like to do?
Okay, so we're in the cell. There's one kobold outside. Any other kobolds beyond us?
Three kobolds outside. One has the keys.
3 directly outside, one of which has the
Yep.
keys. Nobody
Yep.
else is in sight. Okay, so 3 kobold,
Correct.
and now Belle has grabbed the keys.
Yes, Belle has grabbed the keys, and she has grabbed them so deftly that and lifted them off of his belt so deftly that they don't even seem to notice. She succeeded so well.
Okay, so she's at the cell, but the kobold isn't there, so he's got to turn his eye around. So what it's got to be... You said we don't have spells.
Anything that you had memorized before and you haven't cast is still available to you. So if back at the end of that battle last week, if you had spell slots that you had not used, though, you still have those spell slots.
Yeah, but it's more of a... This is more of an RP situation. So it's more of a...
If you do a spell that's an arcane spell, then it's an arcana check. If you do a spell that is a divine spell, it's a religion check. And that goes for your class. So if your class uses arcane spells, casting a spell is considered an arcana check. If you are a class that uses divine spells, then it's considered a religion check.
Okay, got it. Distraction. Thaumaturgy.
Okay.
which is religion here, because
Right.
he's two things, actually. That's the problem with your description, because he's both paladin and sorcerer, and the sorcerer has cleric spells on top of that. So, but anyway, it's a religion of 4. What the idea is to create a tremor on the other side of the room from the kobolds, so as to make them look that way and wonder what's going on. In fact, maybe to head down the corridor faster if this is looking the way I think it is, because it's like shaking.
Okay. You are inside the cage. The kobolds are outside the cage.
Yeah.
There's a thin set of bars. So there's that corridor that branches off in front of them, beyond them. So you can still do the thaumaturgy, but just to set the scene, because you mentioned across the room, it sounds like you're trying to do it behind you, which wouldn't even,
not behind me, in the corridor.
Okay, all right.
Behind them. Or, well, I guess they're facing that way at this point because of because you successfully took the thing. But it's to create the idea of movement near them, so as to draw their attention.
Okay, go ahead and make a roll. Okay, 8. Yeah, that's not going to cut it. They will say, oh, so what's that? Nah, nothing. Don't pay any attention to it. You did not roll in that one, so that wasn't a botch. That would mean that they realized that you had done something. So you guys have 1 success, 1 failure. All right, Thaldor, you are up.
And I'm thinking hard. Oh, I love you, Belle, but you took one of my highest.
No, you didn't. No, she didn't. She didn't.
Can use
because you can use it. You cannot use religion because that's what Kadrosi used.
Oh, okay, cool. I thought you can't use the same skill in the same round. Okay.
You cannot use the same skill 2 rounds in a row, and you cannot use the skill that was used by the person right in front of you. So.
Oh, okay, cool. So who's in turn order? Got you. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool beans. I'm trying to make this work narratively though. What do I see on the kobolds? Like besides she got the keys and I smirk at her, I'm impressed. Is there anything useful on them that I can steal off of them?
Well, they have their armor and they have daggers and they have little pouches and little slings. So yeah. Some useful stuff.
I'm wondering, because stealth wouldn't work out real well in this. Actually, it could. Actually, I didn't think about this.
Well, you guys do have the keys now.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah. So that's one of my highest stats. So I want to get the keys from Belle, put my finger to my lips like a shushing motion to the whole party, and I want to stealthily open the door.
Okay. You can do that motion to Belle. Belle, would you hand him the key? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yes. So you get the key from Belle.
Ooh.
Wow. Oh, wow. That's really good. Okay.
I must have spit on the hinges.
Yeah, Thaldor takes the key from Belle, gives the quiet motion to all of you, and he creeps over and just noiselessly sticks the key in the lock and turns it. And you keep waiting to see if he's turned it, and he's already opening the door, and it's just silent. And now the door is open. The kobolds are outside, still looking in the other direction, still not aware that the keys have been stolen from them. And they are there in front of you. And it is now Brock's turn. So, Brock, you can use any skill except for stealth.
Are they? So they're not alerted yet, right?
They're not alerted to the fact that you have gotten the keys or that you have opened the door. No, they're their attention is focused on the fighting that's beyond. They can't see it, but they can hear it.
Could I, another nod to Wesley, could I use my athletics to pick one up and hit the other two with him?
I will allow this, yes. So an athletics check, you want to pick up one kobold and smack another kobold. Oh, okay. You go to grab a kobold, and the little thing is wigglier than you would have thought. And he manages to wriggle out of your grasp. And he goes, "Ah, hey, they're out." And one of the other ones says, "Tell me you let him steal your keys." And they start shouting at each other. But unfortunately, that is a failure. And they all back off about 10 feet, and they brandish their daggers as menacingly as they can. In your direction. But that is the end of your turn, and now Mulek, you are up.
I see him turn with their weapon, hold up my hand, and cast firebolt at the closest one.
Okay, yeah, good. All right, so two of you have remembered that even if you can't recover spells, you always have your cantrips. Ooh. 14. Yeah, that's not quite gonna be good enough.
All right, we're gonna be able to get that fight in before we get.
Okay, so yeah, you try to fire the firebolt off, and it goes and harmlessly hits the wall as the kobold dances out of the way. And Falasher, you're up.
All right, how many kobolds are out in front of us?
3 of them.
Falasher is going to go up to the gate of the jail cell, and he's going to say, "If you little shits don't run and hide into your barracks underneath your beds, we're going to bully you alive when we get out of here." And he's going to use intimidation.
Intimidation? Okay. Oh.
Oh, God.
Okay.
SOL. You know what
This
that
is going
Okay.
south fast.
Falasher, or Ken, does Falasher have inspiration?
I never get inspiration.
Okay. Does anybody have inspiration that they would like to let Falasher
Oh wait,
use?
can I use my? I'm going to go ahead and cast Chrono Shift.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, as a reaction. Okay.
That's my last one. Yeah.
Okay. So yes, you yeah, you can re-roll. So
Really kicking in the clutch.
okay, I'm gonna move this back because we don't know if it's a failure yet.
Nice.
Oh, and it's a success. All right, great use of a spell. Hey, Mulek and Falasher, for that combination, I'm giving you both inspiration if you don't already have it. And remember, I feel compelled to remind you that in a group situation like this, inspiration can be used to help a teammate. You don't have to save it and use it only for yourself. So keep that in mind as you go. In fact, with that third success, as you roar out your intimidation, and in fact, one of them, his knees quiver, and a little puddle forms on the ground, and he flies away, or he doesn't fly, but he runs away, and now there's only 2 kobolds outside of the gate. So good use of intimidation there. All right, Belle, we are back to you. We have 3 successes for the party, 2 failures. You cannot use intimidation. You also cannot use sleight of hand, but you can use anything else.
So we got the keys, we unlocked the door, we scared kobolds away.
Only one of the kobolds you scared away. The other two are still there, but they took another step back after Faliger intimidated them.
And this is intimidated. This isn't going to be intimidation. It's going to be acrobatics. But
Okay.
as soon as I hear the intimidation from Faliger, Belle will launch herself and jump towards the kobolds with her hair spiking up, growling at them, doing flips and tricks, trying to scare them, but using her acrobatics to whoosh them away.
Okay. All right.
If that makes any sense. No.
Oh, that is not a success. Okay, so now it's 3 and 3, and Osprey, you are up.
Bum, 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 bum. Flash! He grabs it. He grabs something, then charges toward them in the Flash Gordon football fight. Stance for a tackle. Using athletics.
Yeah. And this will be an athletics roll. Okay.
Yeah. Still miss.
Ooh.
Okay, we're going to lose this, but I'm going to use inspiration anyway.
Okay.
And still miss because nope, he's there.
Hey, 18. That's exactly what you guys need for this
This
skills challenge.
18.
So
Yeah. I should
Yeah.
have used that because we were going to need it for that.
Hey, well, you guys are now 4 and 3. So what happens is Osprey launches himself and he manages to grapple one of these kobolds and he tackles it to the ground. And as he does so, its little kobold dagger skitters away across the floor. And now Ace is on this guy, and he's got his one arm pinned behind his back, and he's just got his face mashed into the floor. And Thaldor, you are up, so you can use anything except for stealth and athletics.
Okay. Thinking on this one. Let's see. I have perception. Some of my high ones I need to knock out of the way. Investigation, maybe? It's one of my second highest. How can I do this narratively? Because of, I know a lot of DMs hate this, but because of Keen Mind, I know the paths that they drug us down. I know where things are located. To what I've seen, can I investigate on finding a fast path out of here after we take out the kobolds?
No, an investigation roll. I've read up more on this because it's always one that I have a little bit of trouble sometimes trying to distinguish which one should be which. Investigation is for really close work. So, for example, if you use your perception to discover that there is a trap on a on a chest, you can use your investigation to try to help figure out exactly where that trap is or how it would be triggered. And then that might give you a bonus on your sleight of hand to disarmament.
Got you. So perception, maybe.
Yeah, you could use your perception, and it would work well with your keen mind. I mean,
Right.
the paths that you've seen, and the areas that you have observed. You obviously don't know completely what's in areas you haven't been to, but
True. But just the way out. Like I know in my mind I can draw a path to get us out of here. Say, let's go this way, take a left, take a right. We're getting out of here.
Yep, exactly.
Got you. I'll roll that check. Nice.
19. Okay, that's good. All right, so now you have 5 successes to 3 failures. Okay, so Faldor gets a gleam in his eye, and he goes, "Yeah, folks, I know exactly the way to go. When we clear these kobolds, follow me." And everybody narratively just nods, and Brock is up.
I was going to use perception, but maybe I'm looking into nature, and it says check measures your ability to recall lore about terrain. Could I possibly use this to read the lay of the caves, maybe, and kind of do the same thing he's doing?
You could. Well, I'll say you would know potentially the environmental factors. Like, you know that one cave is full of mist, and you might be able to use that to your advantage somehow if you would succeed on a nature check. But, you know, you're not in that cave yet, so that would be something that, okay, depending on how Falliger leads us out of here, if that's the way you go, then you kind of would have an idea. It's a bit of a stretch, really. What else could you do with nature if that's a high?
Well, I can also use stealth. I just don't really know how I do it in this scenario, to be honest.
Maybe stealthily try to get that dagger that's on the floor without.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
20. All right, not natural. Dirty 20. But that's good. So now we are at 6 successes to 3 failures. All right. Good. Halfway home, boys and girls. All right, Mulek.
Yeah,
you're up.
So Mulek's going to bring Casper back behind where the kobold are and telepathically tell Casper to fly as fast as he can through the tunnel areas to find our gear. See if he can locate where our gear is stashed.
Okay. Now, this is where being a DM and overhearing some of the conversation of players does Mulek have... You don't need any materials to summon him.
No, I can bring him back whenever. Within 30 feet of me.
Okay, it's only if he dies you need materials to reconstitute him. Okay.
Yes.
Good. All right. Yeah. Go ahead.
So I want to do perception. He's going to go and do perception.
Yeah. 22. That is a success. All right. He flies off, darts around the kobold.
Well, I had him. I brought him back behind the kobold. Are the kobold more than 30 feet?
Oh, okay. No. So behind the kobold.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
he darts one way, and then you see him flip back the other way, and he goes towards that room where the torture tables are, and he goes in there. And how far away does he have to be for you to?
He has to be within 100 feet to telepathically communicate, but he can go farther. I basically told him to go find it, and then when he finds it, to come back and let me know. But it has to be. He can only communicate with me if close, if we're within 100 feet.
Okay, so let me see. I'm going to do something here real quick. Okay. It doesn't take long. You get a message back. Found it. Found your gear. Nice room. And it says smells sweet.
All right. So I yell out to the party. Casper's found our gear in a sweet smelling room. Anyone? Does that sound familiar to anybody?
I smirk and look over at Falliger.
Yeah, Falliger, you remember that the room that Frulum had for her quarters, there were a lot of rugs and there was some sweet-smelling incense burning in there at the time you were there. So,
Mhm.
yeah. So perhaps that's where he found it. Okay, and Falliger, it is actually now your turn.
Since I know where it's at, I would try to make a survival check to lead them, since I know the terrain, the layout of the compound, to where that
Mhm.
room is.
Yeah. You. Oh, you want to make a survival check? Yeah. I don't know that survival is the greatest skill because it's just going through corridors. It doesn't. How would that relate to survival? We'll pretend you haven't rolled that yet. So
You can guide your group through areas that you're familiar with and avoid hazards and things like that you know or seen have been there. For instance, like if we were going to travel through the frozen waste, like I could.
yeah. This is like you go up the corridor, you hang a right, you go down that corridor into another room, and then you hang a left and you go into another room, and there you are. So it's like it doesn't really seem like a survival type of thing. Because
Okay,
you're navigating through corridors.
I'll do
You
a
have a
follow.
different.
I'll do a follow me dance with performance.
Okay.
The
So
honey
we're-
is where?
An interpretive dance of follow the leader.
Okay, this I will allow. This I will allow.
All I can see is him doing like the jolly and then just pointing this way and pointing that way.
Like the Pied Piper.
Outdoor
Little bit-
goes, why
A little
not?
bit of ballet. A little bit of ballet.
No. Ooh. Okay.
That's right. I got an inspiration. I'm gonna
Yeah,
use it.
you do.
Okay. All right. Ah.
And it did
Wasn't meant
worse.
to be. It wasn't meant to be.
Okay. Yeah, he thinks he's doing this ballet move, and really what he does is he puts one hand behind his head, holds his elbow out in front of him, points his other arm far out, and then he just kind of jerks a little bit at a time in a circle, and you realize he's doing the lawn sprinkler. And everybody's like, "What the hell are you doing, Falliger?" So it
What
doesn't.
does the fox say?
D.
All right, Belle, you are up. You can use anything except for performance or let's
Acrobatics.
see, acrobatics. Yes.
As she sees Falliger doing this, she'll bonk his nose and then stealthily try and make her way to that room to go get the stuff.
Okay. So you're gonna try to stealth past the kobolds. One kobold is being pinned down by Brock. The other is now trying to pull Brock off of him.
Yes, nat 20.
Nat 20. And
She doesn't have her
Belle,
ability. She's very sneaky.
and Belle just makes 2 successes and gets past them both and disappears around the corner, and the one kobold trying to pull on Brock to get him off of his buddy is just just oblivious.
I saw you go, and Thaldor is impressed.
Okay. Bella's done. Osprey, you are up.
So that means that she's opened the passage to our gear.
She is heading that direction. She is heading.
It's
She'll
not
have
there
to go through the. Yeah, she's not there yet. And you guys are all still back in the holding cell. Most of you are. Brock is out in the hallway fighting one of these kobolds.
I was fighting a kobold. What happened to that?
Oh, no, okay. You're the one fighting the kobold, and Brock picked up the dagger. Okay. I'm sorry. I got you two mixed up. All right. So you're fighting the kobold, and the other kobold is trying to pull you off of his buddy.
Oh, okay. So this one would be. This is the double team. This is the old double head scissors move. Okay, but that's a kobold. So it's like, yeah. So if he's got a hold of one of them, the other one. Okay, this is an attempt to grab. Yeah. Okay, Can I use athletics here?
No, because you
Yeah, I
used
already used it.
athletics last time.
Before.
If you can make it an
So it's a double
acrobatic,
Frankensteiner. Yeah,
if
it's
you
got to
can
be.
make it an acrobatic move.
Yeah, it's got to be a version of the head scissors. It's just that it's so close to the ground that it made more sense the other way. This one is to essentially throw himself into the air, grabbing one with his arms, grabbing the other with his legs, and flipping around.
Okay, and cracking their heads on the ground when.
Either the crack their heads or most likely their back on the ground because the leg is likely to fall first in such a angle.
Okay.
But it may like go onto the top of their heads depending on where the thing actually lands.
Yeah. Okay.
Way too much wrestling. Acrobatics.
Oh. Does Osprey have?
No, just use it.
Okay. Does anybody have an inspiration they would like to let Osprey use? Because if not,
I'll give him mine.
Okay. All right. So Mulek will let you reroll.
Roll that again. Still SOL.
Still not good.
Not good. Okay, so we are 3 successes and 1 failure away, my friends. All right. So, Faldor, you're up.
Oh God, put it on me. Oh, I better pull and pray for the nat 20 gods to give me a nat 20. Show us your critties, Mike. Right. I'm trying. Hold on. I'm trying to think of something really good. Something I have high skill in.
Yeah, acrobatics is out for you, and perception is out for you.
I still have sleight of hand and stealth.
Yeah.
Stealth is really high. So, narratively, what I'm going to do is I saw Belle, and like I said, I'm looking and I'm just nodding approvingly, thinking she's got a plan. And I think from what Mulek said, we're getting our stuff back. I want my crossbow. So I'm going to follow in Belle's path, and I'm going to stealthily get around this skirmish going on and just nod as I go through.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
Do we have any inspirations that we can let?
I hope. Right, wrong, critties. Yeah. No, we can't.
No,
fail.
he already used his bell. All right. Well. Okay.
No.
All right.
Roll again for science.
Yeah,
For
go ahead and
crafts and
roll
giggle.
again for science. The skills challenge has failed. And
It would have failed anyway.
Yeah, it would have failed anyway. All right. So here is what happens. So we are close to the end of our session, and I really wanted to end this chapter tonight, so I'm going to go ahead and end this chapter tonight. What happens is you guys get in a tussle with a small group of kobolds, and everybody roll me. Everybody roll me a d20. Roll an unarmed attack roll, basically. So add whatever your strength bonus is. So that's 1, 2.
So
3,
Mulek is 16
4.
then.
You know, it don't like me tonight. That's the second nat one I've done rolled.
Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3. Okay, Bell has rolled. Mulek is okay. That's 4.
Yeah, Mulek is 16.
Yeah. So there's a total of 4 there. There's a total of 4 there. That's a push. Okay, everybody roll a d20 again.
Same.
Same d20.
With strength?
With strength, yeah.
That's better. I must have got a second wind, and I'm not a fighter.
Oh, jeez. 3.
Okay. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 for you guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Then I'm going to say that who's third on my list? Is third in the list. Faldor and Falliger. Okay. The two of you take wounds that knock you exactly to 0. You are not dead. You are stable, but you're unconscious. And the rest of you are are pinned down by some guards. When all of a sudden, this wave of soldiers from the towns comes bursting down the corridor, and they just bowl over these guards, and they cut them down, and you guys are rescued. And in the aftermath of the rescue, you learn that unfortunately, both Langdedrosa and the woman got away. However, fortunately, they did not get away with all of their fancy stuff or with your gear. So you all get all of your equipment back. And during the week, I will give you I'll put in the Discord an inventory of the cash value, when it comes to artwork and, jewels and stuff like that, the cash value of that, as well as any other items that you might find that might be of interest. And also between this time and next time, you can all raise to level 4 because we are at the end of a chapter. Unfortunately, you also discover that the dragon eggs were shattered in the fighting, and they are all just goopy goopy puddles.
Is that not a good thing?
I'd say that's melancholy.
The only thing is that dragon eggs are, of course, extremely valuable. And so if you capture them intact, then the party gets to decide, okay, what do we want to do with these things?
I mean, they're evil dragon eggs. So
yeah. It turns out they were black dragon eggs.
Ugh.
Yeah, so they were there were 3 eggs of black dragons. They also tell you that there was a nasty roper that was in there as the guardian of the eggs, and it managed to kill a couple of the soldiers that came to rescue you on its own before they managed to fill it full of arrows and destroy it. And in total, about 15 of your rescuers out of a force of 50 died. Another 20 were injured, so there's only about 15 of them that are, unscathed at the end of the battle. All the kobolds and all of the guards and cultists that were left in the complex either were killed or captured. So there are a few prisoners, but none of the leaders were captured. They managed to get away. So, congratulations on reaching level 4. Perhaps you guys found out some information that was useful to you, perhaps in going through the spoils that you all get. You will learn some of that. We'll take a little time at the beginning of the session to talk about what you discover and if there's anything interesting in it that you want to disposition in a certain way, and then we will move on. But feel free to go ahead and level up to level 4 between now and next week. I'll go ahead and put something to everyone in the Discord, so in case Wesley is able to be back and join us, he can be leveled up to level 4 as well. All right, everybody. Thank you for a good session tonight. This session was kind of hard to plan out because those of you who've played with me for a while, I like to keep kind of a PG game environment. And in a situation where you guys are captured and gonna be tortured, I had to think, okay, how am I gonna do this? I wanted to do it to a way that made it feel like it was bad for your characters, but not in a way that made it feel like really cringeworthy for you guys as players. So I wanted to do that, and hopefully that was good. But I also wanted it to be something that could be meaningful to the plot along the way. So,
great game, Gally.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. And Twitch, thank you so much for hanging out and watching tonight. I have a few people that sat all the way through it. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please, if you enjoy our game, let your friends know. Invite them to come with you on Thursday nights and sit in and watch. Appreciate Doors of Fear you and the others who sometimes jump into chat and chat with our viewers. I know it makes it a little bit nicer when you're on a stream and it's a bit interactive. I'm kind of like the one-armed paper hanger over here trying to do a bunch of things at once, and I don't have a third arm to type on the keyboard much. So appreciate you guys hanging out. Players, thank you again so much. And stream, we will wish you a good night, and we will see you back here hopefully next Thursday at 8 p.m. Take care, everybody, and stream is out in 3, 2, 1. Boom.